I started learning how to play guitar in 2009 when I was diagnosed. I had just started like tapping into it before I was diagnosed, and then when I got diagnosed, I had a lot of time to practice. So I sat and I taught myself how to play guitar. Of course, with the help of my brother and, this and that. And I'd figure things out. And later on, he'd be like, play a G. And I'm like, what is that? He's like this. I'm like, okay, I've been playing that all along. Now I just know what it is. I wrote my first song when I was diagnosed called Fight of My Life. That did pretty well for me, for the time being. I was on The Little Couple on TLC. I was on a Downy commercial, all while I was in the hospital, kind of from that song. And so when I got out, I'd always wanted to ride bulls, and I rode sheep and calves and stuff, but my dad rode bulls. And so I would get hooked off of my IV probably once a day, and I would walk around the floor. And there was a picture on the wall of a dude riding a bull that said 7 months after bone marrow transplant. And I always told my mom, hey, that's gonna be me. Well, when I was in there, really my dream was to be a professional bull rider. I wanted to win the world. When I got out, I finally got the release. I started riding bulls, but I always played guitar. You can't it's not a hobby, man. It's something that you have to really be all in. I just didn't have the same drive that I had, the previous 8 years. I had gotten an opportunity to open up for Cody Johnson while I was riding bulls in Crosby. I just kind of walked up on that deal, and turns out, Lord was putting everything in place. It was just a huge blessing because I was able to use that as kind of my leverage. Whenever I broke my collarbone, I was out of work. I couldn't make any money. I wasn't riding bulls making money. So I was like, you know what? Let me start playing music a little more. And I started really booking mostly rodeos and bull ridings and things like that. And it just kind of snowballed into something bigger. So man, it's been awesome. We've had a lot of growing pains. I still have a lot to learn. I'm not naive. But I think we got a real shot at it, and I'm the type of person coming from the rodeo background. Anything I put my mind to, I believe I can achieve. So I'm a cancer overcomer, and so coming from that, going through the fight like that, it wears on your mental state, and if you don't have a positive mentality, then you're gonna suffer. So really, to me, it was a blessing in disguise that I was able to go through that, in a time where I was 14 when I was diagnosed, dude. I was able to spend all day, every day with my mom, who was able to help me and grow me as a Christian as well. You're only as low as your foundation. So if you have a good foundation, man, you can just build up from there. My mom read with me. We read scripture and talked about what it meant, and she kind of helped interpret that to me. We read Psalms and Proverbs, and one that really stuck out to me was Psalms 118:17. I will not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. And that's where I'm at, man. Like everything that I do, I want all glory to be to God. This is not about me. All I can do is all I can do. My mentality is take care of what I can control. The rest will take care of itself. God will take care of the rest. So everything that we've been doing, everything leading up to where we are now, has really just been hard work and God taking care of it. He's opened the doors. We go on and we put on the best show that we possibly can. He opens the doors to the people who are there. Hey, I know so-and-so, I own this, I do, I'd love to help you out. I'd love to get you over here, and it's like, I don't want to say it's been easy, because I work hard at what I do, but like, it sometimes it seems like opportunities just fall in our laps, and I truly believe it's the anointing of God. my family's the most important thing to me. And I'll say that till the day I'm in the grave. My family's the most important thing to me, and if things weren't happening musically, I'll quit and I'll go work that 7 to 5 job to support my family. But is that really the dream? No. I have the most supportive wife that I could ever ask for, and to hear that little voice in the crowd after we do sound check, "Good job, Daddy," like, just melts my heart, man. So that's really everything for me, is my family, and just they are the ones that motivate me. When I started writing rodeo songs, I really started tapping into like country music in high school and things like that. When I started doing that, I found Chris Ledoux, who's also one of my all-time heroes now. But I started really dipping into George Strait and the real classics like Merle and George Jones and Waylon Jennings and, those guys like that. So I really found a love for country music. It wasn't until later in my life I started getting into country and rap and even some like more like jazz, and I'm a big Michael Bublé fan, and so I love all different genres of music. And really, if you listen to my music, you can hear those influences like the blues and rock and country. The thing I love about country music, especially the classic country, is the fact that when you hear it, dude, you get chills. You hear their heart breaking through the lyrics that they're singing. You listen to George Jones songs, it's just like rip your heart out. And that's what I love about music, is that it's so emotional. It doesn't matter happy, sad, mad, whatever. The song is supposed to make you feel a certain way. When you're sad, sometimes people like to sulk and they listen to sad country songs and just kind of dwell in that pity for a little bit, just so that they can get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then sometimes people want to listen to something happy to help them get out of that bad mood. I started playing what I knew, and so that's transferred over to life in general. I started, really writing songs about love and writing songs about heartbreak and things that I was going through, and watching a movie or hearing a song or hearing someone else tell me their story. I get inspiration. I pull inspiration from everywhere, because even though I haven't experienced it or I'm not experiencing it, that doesn't mean that other people aren't. It doesn't mean it can't help them through something that they're going through, And so that's really what music is about for me. Just like in bull riding, I worked so hard that by the time I got on the bull, everything was reaction. I didn't have to think of anything, right? Same with music. My first real gig was in front of 3,000 to 4,000 people, opening up for Cody Johnson acoustic, right? That was like my first gig. But I played in front of restaurants for tips. I played in front of friends and family around bonfires. Anywhere I was, if someone heard that I sang and they wanted to hear me, I'd pull my guitar out and I'd play right then and there. And getting those jitters out to sing in front of people, whenever I got to the big stage, it was like, this is what I've been doing my whole life. Just go out there and do it. Dude, big crowds are way easier to work than little crowds, by far. And I don't know if anyone talks about that, but dude, when you're in a big crowd, you don't feel awkward to clap or to holler, or to sing along. But whenever you're one of 5 people in a large room, you're looking around like, I'm not about to clap. They're not gonna clap. I'm not clapping, So whenever I finally got there, it was like, this is what I've worked so hard for. This is what I've been doing. So the mental state is very, very much the same, because when I go on stage, mentally, you have to prepare to play the same way for one person, 1,000 people, or 100,000 people. You got to perform the same, dude. You can't just cherry pick. Oh, I'm not gonna sing the best that I can because there's only the bartenders here. You know, like sometimes you don't get lucky. Sometimes people just don't show up, whether it be venues having a big concert that same night, or whether you're 100 and something miles away from home and no one knows who you are and they just don't show up. Sometimes things happen, but I'm gonna perform the same exact way every single time, because if I can make one more fan, it's just one to add to the bunch.
Stop me in my tracks and make me realize it's more to life than gold buckles and white lines, and a girl like you is hard to find.
We have a new song that is coming out called Too Good to Turn Down, which I think is really gonna kick everything off. We've released songs to radio, but we haven't promoted any songs to radio through like a real radio promoter where that is their job. And so this is the first song that we're actually going to do that with, and I really believe that if we can get this song into the top 10 on the Texas regional charts, I feel like that's going to be the start of our success, really. I say all the time, I find myself blissfully unsatisfied. I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm constantly trying to move forward, right? So in order to succeed, you have to grow, and in order to grow, you have to put the work in. So again, all comes back to worrying about what I can do and the rest taking care of itself, So I want to be taking over in 5 years. Yeah. Starting to do some headlining stuff. Yeah. So that's the plan. So I don't feel like country's something you can really prove to people. There's a lot of aspects that go into it. I mean, I hunt, I fish, just every country boy does, you know what I'm saying? But really, man, I'm more of a cowboy than anything. I'm the real deal. I ride bulls, I ride horses. Cody Johnson's kind of the same way. I have a lot of the same friends as he does, and we went and rode at the same practice pens and ran around with the same crowds as he did. I find that when you hear someone's music and you hear when you come from something, right, and you hear someone talk about that, you can tell if they're the real deal or not right off the bat, just by the words that they use, the phrasing, how they talk about it, and so if you listen to my music, you can tell right off the bat it's not fake, it's legit. Like, I'm writing about stuff that I know. I don't really feel like anyone has to decipher if I'm not writing about jacked up trucks, and I'm not writing about the flying mud and girls in cut off jeans. Like I don't have to write a song about beer, just in general. Like that there, and that's not taking anything away from anyone. I'm just saying, I find that when you stick to something that is real versus generic, I feel like people can just tell when something is from the heart. And I mean, there's songs for that. There's songs for the party crowd, and there's songs for, let's drink a beer together, like that. There's a place for everything, and I feel like it's not hard to tell. If you're country, you don't have to convince anyone you're country. You just are. I am what I am, I'm a cowboy, and that's just who I am.